What is up, guys? Tech Asian back here again. Another day, another lesson. And today we're going into functions and files, or functions part 2, as I would like to call it. And we're gonna use this checklist again. So we're gonna keep in mind as we start writing and going into different functions. This is the checklist that we'll have available in order if we have any errors, we can use the checklist to make sure we're doing everything right. Alrighty, so let's get started. Let's just open up a file in VS Code to start. VS Code, functions, and then we'll open this up, create a new file, call it function underscore 2.py. All right. So functions and files. So obviously from that name, we're going to do something with files. And yeah. So the first thing we're going to do is from system input argv. And then script, comma, input underscore file equals argv. So we're back to using the argument function instead of the previous thing we were doing, how we were doing the args, remember from the other day, in which the arguments, which you wouldn't have to define them, or like you wouldn't have to define them in your terminal, you would just need to specify them later on. But yeah, let's get started into this. Print underscore all f. So f is going to be a string, I suppose. And then remember we put the colon and then print f dot read is what we're gonna do. So it's gonna read this file, and then it's gonna print it, I guess. But we'll find out what it does in the end. So now we have to unindent because we're trying to create a different what is it? A different function, yeah. So it's gonna be f.seek 0. So whatever this does for file, I don't exactly know, but we'll find out when we print this. Alrighty, print a line underscore count. So this one is taking 2 arguments. It's gonna take a line count of some sort, and then it's gonna take an f, whatever this f number or whatever we're gonna set that as. We're in the colon in order to make this a function. It's pretty obvious when you're not creating a function because it doesn't automatically indent. So just keep an eye out for that. And then line underscore count, comma f dot read line. So there's a different function. So we've experienced f dot read. Right now there's a read line. So that I'm guessing it reads a specific line. And then current underscore file equals open input underscore file. So obviously we have to specify what file it's going to open. And then print first, let's print the whole file. Let's print the full file. And then we're going to use a new line. This character creates a new line. So, yep. And then print underscore all current underscore file. So this argument takes an argument. So we're setting f as a input output, I guess. So whatever we say, so current file is a file. We're opening a file, so it's gonna open this file and then it's gonna read that file. So that's pretty cool. I mean, we could have just done like, instead of it being current file, you could have just put in like you could directly just put it in like how we were doing it a couple days ago, on how we were doing just opening a file and then without using the use of a function. But now we are using functions, so there is definitely a advantage to using functions. It's just, especially if you need to call it like 1,000 times throughout your code. well, not literally 1,000 times, but many times, you wouldn't have to reopen it or anything like that. You would just have to call that function again. So, I forgot a line in here. Let's say rewind current underscore file. So what does rewind do? Rewind seeks and then seeks 0. Seeks the integer 0, I guess. Don't know exactly what that does. Obviously, it says that it's going to search for a line inside the file, but what does seek 0 have to do with anything, though? Let's print 3 lines. No new line right here. And then current underscore line. Also, remember remember how we created the if we wanted to forego a line, there's that specific coding thing that we did. Forget what it was. Let's go back and review that just for a second, just for my sake, because I forgot how to do it. So let's open up first exercise, and I bet if we just click any file, we should remind us. So like prompt. It was something with the oh yeah, the end equals the quotation marks. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. Do I have two VS Code tabs open? Nope. Okay, so I closed my other one. Let's reopen it. Open functions again. So it was end equals those quotation marks if we want to keep it in the same line. Okay. Let's do current line equals 1. So we're resetting that the line. So instead of it being seek 0, I'm guessing it's going to be 1. I'm not exactly sure. And that's going to print a line, current line, comma, current file. So that's interesting. So let's go back to print a line. So it's going to need a line count. So the line count is going to be holding a variable. And then F would be that file name, I assume. Yeah, so F would be the file name because we're setting that as current file, right? So it's going to be that, it's going to open that file. So it's whatever, it opens the file, so that's the current file, because if you don't open it, it's not going to work. And then it's going to read that file, and then this is going to give you a line count, so whatever the current line is. So we're going to say the current line is 1, so we're going to, it's print a line. So let's go to print a line. It's going to print whatever the line count is. So it's going to print it's going to print 1, comma, and then read the line of the current file. Yeah, so it's going to current file read line blank. All right. I'm confusing myself. We'll understand it more as we go on. So this next move we're gonna add some arithmetic into here. So current line plus 1. So what does that do? It's gonna print a line, and it's gonna print the current line, comma, current file, and then current line equals current underscore line plus 1. So it's going to store the value here. So it's going to add 1. So this is going to be 2 current line. It's going to store the current line as 2 now. And then down here, we're going to add another 1. So it's going to be current line plus, it's going to be 3. Current line is going to equal 3. Simple maths, 1 plus 1 plus 1. Alrighty. And then current line, current file. Get that all done. Okay. And then let's get started. So we might have to create a new file, but because it needs to take a input file. So like, let's see if I don't what happens if I don't have a file. So obviously we're using script, so we have to specify we're running this from function underscore 2.py, and then we also have to specify the input file, right? Yep. So we're gonna say test.txt and see if it makes one. If it doesn't find one, it probably won't because there isn't. Yep. Okay. No such file or directory found. So we're going to have to create a new file, call it test.txt. And then we're just going to name it something. So, hi, this is line 1. Bye, this is line 2. And then good morning, America, because why not? Alrighty, so we will rerun this whole thing again. I'm just going to copy it and then paste it down here and then run it. And then let's see. So it does print this in each line. So we do see that it prints, it does say let's print the whole file right here. And then it prints everything. So this is line 1, this is line 2. And then now let's rewind this like this piece of tape. And then let's print these 3 lines. And then it prints them down here. So one of the things is, why is there an extra space here, but no extra space up here? So the only reason I can imagine is because we put that there, but like that only creates this gap right here, the empty gap right there. But what's creating this empty gap? What does the rewind automatically format it like that? Because I don't think this would be the case, right? Just deleting this. I don't think that would help at all. Nope, that doesn't help. Doesn't matter. So what does the this F do? So like, what does the seek do? So that is a good question. Let's see what it says. This says it does. A file in Python is like an old tape device on a mainframe, or like a DVD player. So you can seek a file and then, so when you do f.seek 0, you're moving to the start of the file. And then when you do readline, you're reading a line from that file. And yeah, so f.readline is basically, it reads to the end of the line. So whether or not it has that /n, the text, obviously when this creates a new line, there's going to be a /n right there. In like, if it was like HTML or whatever text is written in a file. So that's why it reads that first. That's what readline does. And then remember how if we don't want, so in doing so, that's how this gap is created. So if we don't want that to happen, as I was saying, instead of just putting rewind current file, if we do comma end equals this, we should get rid of those, not in there, I guess. Where would I put that then? Oh, after readline, perhaps? So, yeah, so this would be fprint everything. So it prints readline, comma, end equals that. Maybe that works. All right, yeah, yeah, there we go. So now we avoid the gaps right here. So that's pretty cool. So what I'm realizing now is that this f.read, and then it prints f.read, it's going to print exactly what the file says. And then this is only printing the first 2 lines. So if we add a, say, like another line, extra line, like say, this is Tech Asian, right? And we go back to our function. If we go back, so what this is saying is, I assume it's going to say that the 4th line isn't going to print in this rewind the current file, because it's only going to read the line, and we've only specified it to print line 3 up to line 3, so the first 3 lines, and then this is going to print the whole file. So obviously this is what it says, but like, let's run this, and yeah, so this is going to print the whole thing, and this is only going to do that. But it also prints the number, which is interesting. It prints the 1, 2, and 3. So let's print the... Oh, I typed that wrong. Okay, whatever. So it's going to print a number out. So 1, 2, 3, and then, hi, this is line 1. Okay. So why does it do that, though? So it's going to print a line. And what does print a line do? So print a line is going to print the line count. So whatever the line count is at. So do we specify line count? Line count is the current line, so that's why it's printing that number right here. And then this F would be the file, so whatever file it is. So we're gonna name that the current file. So all right, that's pretty interesting. Also, another thing that we could do to shorten this up is, instead of putting current line +1, right, you could just do this. You could do current plus equals, and then you could do plus equals, and then get rid of this. And that would equal the same thing, because the plus equal sign is, it's basically saying that current line equals current line plus 1, or plus itself. Well, not itself, but so let's just run this and see if it does do that. So, oh no, oops. All right, it's gonna be adding itself. So it's gonna be current line equals current line plus itself, because it's gonna be, what it means is, this is what it means. It basically means, we're gonna put this in a comment: x equals x plus y. So if we break this down, right, x is current line, so it's gonna be plus, or at current line equals current line plus y, so current line. So if we put plus equals 1 here, I'd assume we're going to get the right answer. Yep, okay, so that would have to equal 1 in this case. So, yeah, that's all for today. And tomorrow we'll be back with functions that can return something. So, we're going to do some, it's going to include a lot of arithmetic and different things. So, adding, subtracting, dividing, simple maths. And yeah, so we're going on this adventure so far. This is day whatever, and it's pretty nice, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Peace.